Bill's Media and the Arts podcast, where I talk about music, movies, and books, and I bring you the content that most want, and interviews and etc. So check out Bill's Media and the Art podcast for your media needs. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to Bill's Media and the Arts podcast. First of all, I just wanted to say that this video is kind of long overdue. Been meaning to do it a few weeks ago and didn't get around to it. And plus, I wound up getting this album later than I wanted to, so it pushed the review back. Today we're going to be talking about Ozzy Osbourne's new release, Patient Number 9. First of all, I want to come to this review saying that I'm a long-time Ozzy Osbourne fan. I've kept up with Ozzy over the years. I've pretty much owned every album Ozzy's ever put out. And I wanted to say that I'm not biased, that I don't want people to think that this is bias or like I'm coming to this for someone who's not really an Ozzy fan but wanted to buy the CD just to see what it sounds like. So this is going to be an honest review from a metal lover and someone who loves Ozzy Osbourne as much as probably most people do. But I have to say, this album has 13 tracks, a lot of different musicians on it, from Jeff Beck to Mike McCready, Zakk Wylde, Tony Iommi, Eric Clapton. Duff McKagan plays bass on here, I think on a track or two. So does Robert Trujillo, who used to be in Ozzy before, now was in Metallica. I'm going to be honest with you. I've gave this album a couple spins now, going through, and truthfully, when I first heard the first track, Patient Number 9, which I think is the strongest track on this album, I had high hopes for the record. Then I heard a couple of some of the other tracks that were brought out. And, you know, when you listen to things on like your computer or through YouTube and stuff like that, sometimes I kind of feel like you don't really get the whole embodiment of it. That's why I like, when I listen to music, I like to listen to it through like on CD or vinyl or however. I like to listen to it because I think then you can really embrace yourself into the song. You can really delve into the songs and like hear all the little nuances and, you know, every little thing in the song you can. But I think the reason why there's so many musicians on this album, because I have to say that I believe this is Ozzy's last dance. This is Ozzy's kind of farewell swan song type album. Everybody knows, and for those who don't know, you know, Ozzy was diagnosed with Parkinson's here, like, was it last year or earlier this year? And you can tell on this album that his vocals are not as strong as they used to be. And you can actually kind of hear that from the last couple outings he's had. Some of it is, you know, done with studio magic to make Ozzy sound better. But I wanted to come on here and say that I thought this was a great album. It's an okay record. I think some of the songs feel kind of rushed. I think some of them feel almost as if like they were just pieces of songs or pieces of lyrics he had laying around, and he just threw together to write some tracks. I mean, Like I'll say, Patient Number 9 is really good. Parasite's a different song. I did like No Escape from Now. One of Those Days was a decent track. Mr. Darkness. Degradation Rules is okay, but I think what makes that song is Tony Iommi's guitar playing and stuff. Dead and Gone is a decent track. Only God Knows. It's okay track. I mean, and then the Dark Side's just kind of like a little small, kind of like, I won't say almost like an outro kind of like thing. It's only like one little section of lyrics. But I feel that Ozzy was just putting out a record to say he put out a record. You know, I think, he realized, look, this may be my last opportunity to do something. And so he done it. And I don't know how far advanced his Parkinson's has gotten or whatever. And maybe he kind of felt like, well, I need to get this album out before, maybe I start declining and everything. And as a fan of Ozzy, who's loved Ozzy's work over the years, I mean, there's different people who love Ozzy's older stuff, from anything from No More Tears before that. There's some people who love his whole catalog. There's people that like from No More Tears on. I'm a fan of all of Ozzy's work. I think, like, I'll give you honest, like, there were a couple albums in there in his earlier days before No More Tears that I thought were kind of, that had some good songs on it, but there wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? No More Tears, Osmosis, Down to Earth, and I'm gonna be honest with you. No More Tears, Osmosis, Down to Earth, and Black Rain, I think, are some of his best work in his later years. Scream, not so much. Ordinary Man wasn't a bad record for say. I thought the first four or five tracks were really good. And then I like that song, Scary Little Green Men. But overall, it was kind of a so-so record. I would hate to say this, but I would want to think that Ordinary Man's the better record. I just feel like that Ozzy could have done a better job on this album. I don't know. I just feel like it was rushed. I feel like he had to just, I don't know if it was for, say, Ozzy. I think sometimes Sharon has some things to do with that. But now, as far as the musicians on this record, no, I don't. I have nothing against any of those guys. I mean, Zach Wild's a great player. Of course, Tony Iommi is, he's a legend in the metal world. I mean, from Black Sabbath. I mean, Tony Iommi. He sometimes I wonder if he can do any wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I hate to say this, the music made this album. The lyrics, not so much. I do like I said, I do like Patient Number 9. I think that's the strongest track on the album. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's two different covers for this album. You got this version here, And then there's another version that you can buy on Ozzy Osbourne's website. That's kind of it's like a drawing, but it's done by Todd McFarlane. And I actually think that the artwork brings out the album maybe a little bit better than the artwork on this. But to be Ozzy's swan song, I really don't think that this was that great of a record. I just feel like it just a lot of the songs felt just kind of like all over the place, and in the songs that were kind of strong, they would either have a really good beginning and a decent middle, but like fell off at the end, or they had really good verses, but the choruses were kind of like didn't make any sense or anything. So I'm going to say this, and there may be some Ozzy Osbourne fans out there who may disagree with me, and that's their right to feel this way. But I think it's time for Ozzy to hang it up. I think it's time for him to ride off into the sunset, go enjoy the rest of his life, what's left of it. Because when that Parkinson's really starts taking hold of him, Ozzy's not going to be able to perform and sing. I believe that I know he's got a world tour coming up, or at least some kind of a tour coming up. Do I think that this is the Ozzy's last hurrah? Yeah, I do believe that. And some people may not think so, and they're like, oh, well, he may still put out music, but he may not tour anymore. That could be true, but after listening to this album, Ozzy's writing is not as strong as it used to be. Ozzy's singing is not as strong as it used to be. I will say, out of all the songs on here, the more songs, Patient Number 9 to me feels more like Ozzy than any other album on this record, or any other song on this record. Maybe Mr. Darkness and Dead and Gone, maybe, kind of has that, that old Ozzy, I'm the Prince of Darkness kind of feel to it, the lyrics and stuff. But the rest of the album is just like, it just don't feel like Ozzy to me. It was like Ozzy had a bunch of writers with him, and he just put his name on the songs because he needed to put a record out, I love Ozzy. Ozzy's one of the greatest musicians of all time. I mean, think about it. He was the lead singer from Black Sabbath there, and, some of the best music ever put out on the planet. But I think Ozzy's time has come and gone. And that old saying is sometimes, bands stay at the dance too long, or stay out too long. I think Ozzy needs to go ahead and hang it up before it comes to that, and for him to, before he makes a fool out of himself and ruins his career and ruins his legacy. That's all I can really say. I mean, would I recommend this? Let me put it to you like this. If you're a collector of Ozzy music and you want it just because it's got Ozzy on it, I would say pick it up. But as far as those diehard Ozzy fans out there, I think you'll be disappointed. This version of the album, I'm going to give a 3 out of 5. And the reason I do that is because I just don't think the cover is all that. Now, when you go see the Todd McFarlane cover, and the Todd McFarlane version of it actually opens out. It's like a triple thing digipack. It's got a big red bat in it, and it's got the booklet looks just as like the front cover does, and the CD's actually different. Like here's the CD, it's like gold and black. The other one's like red and black, and it actually goes with the artwork. And there's actually a poster inside of it that folds out. Um, I'll show you. On the poster, it has this right here. And when you flip the poster over, it actually has the album artwork for the Todd McFarlane version of it, which I really think is probably one of the most killer artworks that he's ever done. It kind of harkens back to the old Ozzy era before. It kind of has that feel of like when he did like Speak of the Devil / Ordinary was it Ultimate Sin, maybe it's mixed with oh god, I forgot the other record, but anyway, it's really cool. The artwork for it is really cool, and I think the artwork fits the video and everything for it. I think maybe that's what they were going for on it. But I think, honestly, if you want the whole package and really cool thing, I would suggest if you really want a collector's thing, go with the Todd McFarlane version on Ozzy's website. I don't know how limited they are, how many copies they have of it, but I would probably say I would think it would go pretty good. There's actually, I think, an unboxing or two of it on YouTube to check out. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. So that artwork, and because of the artwork and the layout of the booklet and everything and how it's done, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 just because of the artwork and everything, or maybe a 4 out of 5. But of course, it's the same music and everything, so it's maybe you'll have people that will have a different opinion than I do, but I do think that this is one of Ozzy's kind of more weaker records. I do think it's better. Do I think it's better than Scream? Probably, but I don't know. I think he would have waited and took like a few of the songs on here and like Patient Number 9 and would have put them all on the Ordinary Man record or some of them songs from that record and put them on this one. I think you'd have had a more solid outing of a record. To me, that's just my opinion. I think the songs are better on that record. They don't feel as, to me, like they're thrown together like this album does. So, yeah. But I just want to say thanks for watching. This is Bill. And like I said, if you're an Ozzy fan and you just want the CD for a collector's thing, go out and grab it. And they are a couple highlights on this record, but Patient Number 9, I think, is the better track. And like I said, if you really want the really cool, I think, album cover version of it, go pick up the Todd McFarlane version on Ozzy's website. The artwork for that is really killer, and it's probably one of the best artworks I've probably seen on an Ozzy record. So, yeah. But thank you for watching. Have a good day, and this is Bill signing out.